Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Wanted to give you guys a couple of more segments before we wrap up today's content, getting you guys a little bit of extra video coverage here of the Green Bay Packers. Excited to talk a little Jordan Love here on the first part of the show. We've got Colin Cowherd finally kind of giving in to, hey, Jordan Love is that dude. We're going to play the audio clip from that, react, hit you with some stats, with some facts along with that. And then we're going to shift gears back into an audio from the McAfee show where they broke down the top 5 offensive lines in the National Football League from last week. AQ Shipley does a great job with that, called In the Trenches. We'll play that audio clip. A little bit of Caleb Williams talk on the backside of that video too that we'll dive into as well. Before we get into all that, if you would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your morning. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you look for that type of content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when we do this in the future. And I want to apologize for the hiccup we had earlier today. If you guys were tuned in, hopefully the video has been edited now. StreamYard has been unloading a bunch of Christmas themed stuff in the background. Every time they do an update, it seems to mess with the stream. Hopefully it'll stay up this time. Anytime the stream does go down like that, I'll do my best to get a quick edit out and make it as tolerable as possible. Again, StreamYard's a great platform. Don't want to dog them too much, but sometimes things happen and you lose connection and things like that. So when we don't have co-hosts on the show with me, that'll happen, and they can't kind of carry the load until I can get back in here and get StreamYard rebooted. So hopefully everything will continue to improve as we move down the stretch. But let's waste no more time. Let's jump right into it. This Colin Cowherd clip, I'm excited to play for you guys. And listen, I wouldn't say that Colin Cowherd has been a hater of Jordan Love. I don't think he's been like going out of his way to talk bad about Jordan Love being a quarterback at the NFL level. But I will say he's not been one to praise him too much. It seems like he's finally come to the realization, along with many other people across the national sports media, they're realizing what Jordan Love's doing here is it's different. It's not just oh yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback. Like here recently, the back half of 2023 and here recently, Jordan Love has been playing like, okay, this dude is an MVP caliber quarterback, right? And not that the MVP matters to us, particularly on this program. We're all about Lombardies. That's the top goal. I could care less about individual accolades and how many sacks does this player have. And there's some portion of the fan base, I truly believe they would rather have inflated sacks from 5 or 6 Packers and not even worry about winning a Lombardi. It's just about having those individual numbers for whatever reason. That's not how we fan on this show. And we got to respectfully disagree. If you're one of those folks, that's the way you like to fan. Hey, that's awesome. You're welcome here. But we're all about, all right, what do you got to do to be playing your best football down the stretch to make sure you are in the big dance at the end of the year and you got a legit shot to bring home that Lombardi, bring it back home to Green Bay, Wisconsin. So here we go. Let's start the clip. This is Colin Cowherd on In the Herd with Colin Cowherd. And again, this is him just kind of coming to the realization that, holy cow, Jordan Love might be that dude in the National Football League. Here we go.
So Jordan Love is now finally making a surge toward the MVP odds. It's really interesting, and I'm guilty of this. We tend to crown young quarterbacks probably before they need to be crowned. I loved Bo Nix as a rookie.
I did too. I'm as guilty as anyone in that, right? Bo Nix really flashed last year. C.J. Stroud the year before. And usually it's an indicator they're going to be great quarterbacks. So I love the fact that Colin's kind of taking, hey, look, I do this too. I think we're all somewhat guilty of that.
Still had a lot of growth. Jaden Daniels, I'm like, that's the best rookie quarterback I've ever seen. There's only one quarterback in the NFL, it feels like, is the opposite, who's been great for several years and nobody will crown him. Jordan Love of the Packers.
Been great for several years and nobody will crown him, right? Again, go back to 2023. Guys, what he did in the back half of 2023 before he had the injuries in 2024, it's how he's playing right now, protecting the football. He had like 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was on pace. That second half of 2023 was better than any any year that Aaron Rodgers had throughout his career, like if you took a full season of Aaron Rodgers' play, even the 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers years, and you said, okay, look at Jordan Love's back half of 2023, he was playing more efficient, protecting the football better, touchdown strikes left and right, even more so than Aaron Rodgers on his best years. I mean, that's a reality. Now, take a step back in 2024, we're going, oh, crap. Is it the injuries? Is this the real Jordan Love? What's the deal here? And I think he's proven now this dude's going to give us top 5 quarterback play, top 3 quarterback play year in and year out, it seems.
I would call it the Colin criteria. There are certain things I love, and he checks all the boxes. His hat's on forward. He's great at the podium.
What does that mean? Some people will hear that and go, whoa, that's a derogatory statement. No, he's just saying, like, this dude isn't about look at me, all flashy, painting the nails, right? Carrying the little purse and everybody, I'm trying to draw attention. He's the dude. He shows up every single week, and you can tell that he doesn't try to draw the attention to him. There are some players in the league that they like that attention. Cam Newton back in the day, right? That was the only knock I really had on Cam. Was like Cam has tremendous talent, but boy, he just wants the limelight to be on him. He wants it to be about him. He needs that attention. I love the fact that he mentioned that Jordan Love doesn't have that. Jordan Love's kind of, anytime he's praised, what does he do? He doesn't do a Superman. Hey, look, I'm Superman like Cam Newton did, right? No, Jordan's like, no, man, Jaden Reed's making a hell of a play. Christian Watson's playing outside of his mind. Matt LaFleur is one of the best play callers in the game. He's always taken that light that shined on him and put it on someone else. I think that's what he means there.
He's big. I like traits. Short memory after bad interceptions. He's mobile, but actually prefers the pocket. He's aggressive on the deep ball. He loves to throw it deep, spreads the ball around to teammates, never gets in trouble at the podium. Yet outside of Wisconsin, people are really, whoa. I text last night a GM in the league, and I said, if you had Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love both available on the market, he said, come on, 6'4", 220, doesn't throw picks, doesn't need a great O-line. He's like, every GM in the league would take Jordan Love. But
that's a good point. Like, he doesn't need a great O-line. Think about that statement. I mean, and we're going to talk about the O-line here in a minute, and I think they're playing better the last couple of weeks. This is based off of head coach Mike McCarthy talking about the O-line and AQ Shipley, a former offensive lineman. This has nothing to do with the PFF grades or any of the data, the stats. This is people who have played the game, coached the game, saying, yeah, they like where the running game's going. They like how the Packers are creating momentum with their offensive line. But when you look at our offensive line, Zach Tom is an elite offensive tackle. He's definitely a great offensive tackle. I think he's elite. He's borderline right there in that ballpark, right? Name the second best offensive lineman on this team. Rasheed Walker? Pass blocking, probably, right? I mean, Aaron Banks has underperformed. I think we would all agree, right? Sean Ryan is your backup center. I mean, he's doing the best he can, but he's a backup center. He's a backup guard, backup center. Right guard, Anthony Belton. Again, I don't think he's played horrible, but he's definitely not a top 32 guard in the league with the way he's playing right now. He's a rookie, second-round pick, right? So I agree with what Colin said there.
You'll get pushback on that. And so, and I've thought about this before. What is it with Jordan Love? And my guess is if they win this weekend against Denver, he gets a 5-game winning streak. He just has never gone on that Favre heater or that Aaron Rodgers heater.
That's a great point. Other than 2023, the back half of 2023. But again, we got a chance to go into Denver, beat arguably the best team in the National Football League on their home turf to win our 5th straight. So this could be that game that kind of propels him into, whoa, Jordan Love is that dude.
And even the win over Chicago, you're like, well, it was the defense with an interception. But this is one of these, everything I want in my quarterback. Grateful, humble, hat on forward, adult, aggressive, but doesn't take unnecessary risks. He is the one quarterback in the league that's great, but nobody will crown him. He's tremendous. Tremendous. And I actually think this weekend, Green Bay and Denver feels like to some a preview of the Super Bowl.
Completely agree with that, man. And again, there's Coach Gruden talked about that. There's people all across the board that are saying this could be a Super Bowl preview here. And again, the Packers could also lose this game, lose out, miss the playoffs. We all know nobody's saying this is a slam dunk. This Packers team is the best team in the league, right? But the things that are in front of them right now, and the fact that Matt LaFleur always has this ball club he has this squad in the game every single week. I mean, you've lost the 3 games you've lost this year. You lost by a total of 9 points. Each game, if I remember correctly, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, you lost all 3 of those games by 3 points. He's always got them in a position to win the ball game. What else can you ask for in a head coach other than to win the big one, right? Nick McSwain in the chat. Also, Love is smart with all caps smart. Absolutely. A few touchdowns this year were him changing routes or audibles that Love diagnosed the defense and changed the play. Amen. You've seen that last year too. Or you seen that, last year, and you've seen it in 2023. I remember him coming to the line on New Year's Eve against the Vikings B-Flow was supposed to dominate him in that game, right? The defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Love comes to the line multiple times. Check. Hits, I think it was Dontavion Wicks down the seam for a tutter on that one. Bo Melton had a game where he had 100 yards receiving in that game, if I remember correctly. The only receiver that had 100 yards receiving in 2023, if I remember correctly. So, again, very, very smart quarterback, changing the play, getting them into the right play. Chase in the chat, the arm talent is why he's a good quarterback. You cannot say Love is a bad passer. Amen to that. And then Pack Attack with the super chat. Thank you so much, Pack. Appreciate you, buddy. Broncos better think twice about playing man-to-man. And that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. It's in my show notes here. Just kind of putting some stuff together for that game to look for on Sunday tomorrow. Denver plays the most man-to-man coverage in the entire National Football League. Jordan Love, 3rd best passer rating against man coverage. Something to think about. So thank you for the super chat there, buddy. We appreciate you so much, Pack Attack. Great nugget there that you popped out. Now let's look at some other numbers with Jordan Love before we move on to the next segment here. This is wild to think about, all right, as we kind of try to zoom in here a little bit where you guys can see it, all right? I said, but I was told, a quote tweet at PFF, Jordan Love has been elite at every level this season, all right? Jordan Love, by depth this season, great on deep passes, 4th best in the league, 95.3. is the PFF grade on deep passes. Great on intermediate throws. He is 1st in the National Football League. Those crossers, those digs, 92.5. All right. And then, of course, great on the short passes. He's 1st in the league, 84.8 on the short passes. So at every level, some quarterbacks, they got a beautiful deep ball. They couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a mop on a 5 to 7 yard pass, right? Some guys, they can hit underneath. They can hit the deep shot. But, boy, those 13 to 17-yard dig routes or a 13-yard out route, it's just not there. Jordan's showing accuracy all across the field. And when you've got elite arm talent like he's got, and you can hammer the outs, you can hammer the corners, and the play caller can put a wolf concept or a dog concept in the play call sheet, on the play call sheet on Sunday, man, it really forces the defense to have to cover every blade of grass on the football field. So, again, Jordan's getting it done at pretty much every level. Now, you heard Colin Cowherd kind of talk about the MVP odds. I like to just go to random sports books and see what everybody's got here, right? We'll just go to one here, Bally Bet Sportsbook. I don't use them, but I like to kind of cross-check things across the board. Bally Bet Sportsbook, here are your MVP leaders as it sits right now. Matthew Stafford is the favorite, minus 177 to win MVP. 2nd place is Drake May at a plus 200. And then behind him is Jordan Love at a plus 900. In 4th place, you're talking about 500 points away, Josh Allen at a plus 1,400. That's your reigning NFL MVP who just took over a game the other night. We watched that in the snow, right? Or the other day, we watched that in the snow. He still got it. Jordan Love is having a better season than Josh Allen. And it's really not even that close, to be honest with you. So Jordan Love has now put himself in the MVP conversation. Do I think he'll win it? Probably not. Don't care if he does. But the fact that he's mentioned as the top 3 quarterback in the league in terms of MVP odds is absolutely awesome. So just love the fact that he's peaking at the right moment. Jordan Love continues to get better. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how this season plays out. So if you guys are watching this video back later, let me know in the comments. Let us know. Jump in here. Jump in the conversation. Let us know how you feel about Colin Cowherd and his comments about Jordan Love. Do you think he's spot on? Do you think he's maybe giving him too much credit? Not enough? Where do you see Jordan Love in the rankings? I need to know that in the comments section, guys. Where do you see Jordan Love? Do you see him top 3? Do you see him top 5? Maybe you think he's only top 10. He's got more to prove. Let us know in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. All right, let's shift gears. Here's another video I wanted to hit earlier before we had the technical difficulties. It would have went hand in hand with the McAfee audio, so we're going to play it right now. This was AQ Shipley's top 5 offensive lines of the week that they do every week. I'm going to pop this up. Love that image, by the way, of Josh Jacobs just running through 4 Bears defenders. So AQ Shipley does this every week. He ranks his top 5 offensive lines. He's got Green Bay number 5. Now, again, as we always say with the McAfee Show clips when we play audios from this, again, this is a video you guys can go check out. It's over on Twitter at Pat McAfee Show. Make sure you go give it a retweet, all that good stuff. Hit it with a like button. We're going to react to the audio version of it right now. Anytime a former offensive lineman, also a former coach in the National Football League, and AQ Shipley, he acknowledges an offensive line that maybe I look at and go, I don't think they're run blocking that well. When you get a former offensive line say they're run blocking well, I'm going to shut up and listen. When you hear Mike McCarthy say, I like the way the running game's going right now, the direction they're going, you got to shut up and listen, right? He's going to diagnose one of the plays we diagnose on Chalk Talk, and I'll try to fill you guys in, obviously, because you can't see the clip here for copyright purposes. Let's play the audio and let you guys and gals react to this. I want to know what y'all think in the chat on what AQ Shipley has to say about the Packers being the 5th best offensive line. And then on the backside, we're going to hit a little Caleb Williams talk too that goes along with this video. Here we go.
Let's start with number 5, the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa! Again, could be language in here. Be prepared if you got kids in the room. Earmuff it, get them out of the room. Put your AirPods in.
Green Bay Packers get a huge win against a division rival, Chicago Bears. I love this play. We're going to leave 2 to the front side. The front side's the right side.
So this is the play that we looked at, kind of a misdirection counter. It's going to be like a 24 call, and it's a pin and pull. So you got the whole right side of the offensive line, the tight end, the right tackle, the right guard. They're going to combo. They're going to pin down, and then we're pulling Josh Wiley as a lead blocker along with Aaron Banks. And listen, Aaron Banks does a hell of a job on this play, right? He does a really, really good job of pulling around the corner, sealing off the edge, or sealing off the inside. And then you got Wiley who kicks out the edge. And of course, Josh Jacobs takes care of business. So again, this is a pin and pull, what I would call a GU counter play. Again, Emilio kind of felt like it was more of a misdirection than a counter. And I could see that too. It was a very aggressive jab step left hop and out the back door.
End man on the line of scrimmage is going to be the kick out from the guard. Tight end wrap. Wiley, look at the block by Aaron Banks. Squeeze through there, +10. This is who Green Bay is, by the way. Josh Jacobs isn't going to break it for 40, right, Ty? He's not going to break it for 50 very often, but he's going to give you 6. He's going to give you 7. And by the end, in the fourth quarter, he's going to give you 10. And before you know it, they got 100 yards rushing, and they pass block their ass off.
Jordan was awesome, too, yesterday.
Yeah, that is kind of because, like, last year it really was. They were only going to go.
Conversation always comes back to Jordan Love, right? You got Colin Cowherd talking about it. You got Ty Schmidt, Ty Schmidt was the one who was extremely pissed off when the Packers drafted Jordan Love while they still had Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Pat McAfee, who was pretty critical of Brian Gutekunst and the whole Aaron going to the New York Jets thing, right? Everybody, Colin Cowherd, Dan Orlovsky, everybody's kind of coming to this realization like, Jordan Love's that dude.
Go as far as Josh Jacobs could take him, and they still need him to be good, no question, but they are at their best when Love can push it downfield and kind of be aggressive. And I mean, we said like I think all 3 of the touchdowns that he threw on Sunday against the Bears were 3rd and 8 or longer. So it's like that when the explosive plays get back, like that's when they can really be at their best.
And versus the blitz. Keep eating him up. He's going to keep lighting you up.
There you go. Keep heating him up. He's going to keep lighting you up. He's great against the blitz. And again, that doesn't mean under pressure, right? That's 2 different things. The passer rating under pressure is different from the passer rating against the blitz. The blitz simply means they fired at least 5 guys, possibly 6, trying to send extra bodies to get after the quarterback, right? Doesn't necessarily mean he was pressured. It means probably had the answer to the equation, got the ball out. Who's that sound like? It sounded like he played under Aaron Rodgers for a while, who cut the blitz apart. It got to the point where teams would just have to play 2-man under on Aaron, and he was always famous for saying, yeah, we got to run him out of that 2-man under. We got to run him out of that shell look, right? And it's probably going to get to the point where Jordan's doing the same thing, because right now he is filling the blitz. He's seeing the blitz. He's giving little hand signals to Christian Watson, tagging on a little slant route on what was already an RPO flat look and taking it to the house for 41 yards. I mean, it's just something that you see every single game. He's tagging little things on outside of the cans. He'll give a little hand signal. Jordan's reading the blitz really well right now.
We like the Bears defense too, right?
All right, so he says we like the Bears defense. You guys know the Bears defense wasn't that good other than the takeaways. Takeaways, they were number 1 in the league in turnover margin, right? That's the most important stat. So if you take, hey, they're ranked somewhere around the 20 mark in defense, but they're first in turnover margin, that puts them up there probably 10 to 15. We talked about it. If you go out there and you turn the ball over 2 or 3 times, you're going to lose that ball game. What we do, we threw 1 interception. They threw an interception as well. We control the middle 8. You come out on top. So when they're saying they're a good defense, again, I look at the Bears defense and go outside of the turnover margin. I don't see them being that good. Here's former players talking about it and talking specifically about Dennis Allen and how he likes to heat up quarterbacks. Here's A.Q. Shipley's response to Pat McAfee saying, we like the Bears defense, right?
Was that a great performance against a great defense?
Yeah, absolutely. And Dennis Allen's been great, as
Yes.
D-Butts knows. I mean, he came from New Orleans. He's a legend down there. Great defensive coordinator, but he lives and dies by the blitz. And whenever you can pick it up, Jordan Love and the Packers did a great job.
The Bears 1 year away?
All right. So that's kind of the end of the Packers segment. I do want to say this before we get into the Caleb Williams talk there. I do want to say this. Green Bay, right, in 2025, running the football, they are currently ranked. They're tied for 20th at 4.1 yards per carry. Okay. So just keep that in mind. That's where they're ranked at. Last week against the Bears, 4.5 yards per carry. So again, when we're talking about the running game struggling, we're kind of taking the whole season and putting it in one big bundle, right? But the reality is you got to look at it on the what have you done for me now, or what have you done for me lately kind of lens. And when you look recently, what have the Packers done over the last 3 games? They're averaging 4 yards a carry. Remember at one point they were averaging like 3.7, which was down toward the bottom. Well, now they're at 4.1. The last 3 games, 4.0. This past week against the Bears, 4.5 yards per carry. If they were to average 4.5 yards per carry, what they did last week against the Bears on the season, that will put them in the number 12 mark. Not as bad. That sounds more like what they're describing here in terms of the offensive line and the running game. Now, you're about to go up against Denver, who has the best run defense in the league. The rubber's about to meet the road. We're going to see if the Packers running game truly is creating momentum or if we go back to struggling because we're going to face a solid run-stopping opponent. Now, let's shift gears. They're going to talk a little bit about Caleb Williams here on the backside. I want you to hear Pat McAfee talks about Caleb Williams like, yeah, he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure, yeah, oh, yeah, we're good. No, nobody's worried about Caleb. Listen to what A.Q. Shipley says. Listen to how he reacts to this. He's watching the tape every single week, right? Listen to A.Q.
2 years away?
Quarterback's got to get a little better.
Oh, quarterback's got to get a little better. You hear him whisper that. Quarterback's got to get a little bit better. Talking about Caleb. Let's carry on here.
But that's what I'm saying. By
But Willie.
And
That's
that's
the question.
But Willie. He said, that's what I'm saying. Well, yeah, but Willie, right? Now listen to Pat.
He's got to take steps.
Oh, you're saying you don't know if he will? I thought we all just assumed he will because of where
I'm not assuming that at all. Is anyone else?
Whew, I'm not assuming that at all. Is anyone else? Now, D-Butt says, I am.
I think I assume he will.
I assume
You do.
you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're assuming. You're not assuming.
I'm not.
You're saying a lot of work is going to have to go into that?
100%.
A lot of work. Again, God, we talk about this every week. Bears fans are convinced this dude is, he is it. He is it. The reality is there's 52 other quarterbacks that have a higher adjusted completion percentage than him in the league. Guys, there's only 32 teams. I know you guys know that. But I always have to say that in case someone listening doesn't realize there's only 32 teams. There are 52 other quarterbacks who have been more accurate this season than Caleb Williams. When you remove the noise, you go, okay, well, how many? Okay, if you remove, let's say, 50 dropbacks or whatever, he jumps up to the 40th mark. There's still backup quarterbacks who are more accurate than Caleb Williams.
Yeah, he's going to have to get better.
It is also tough because like Bo Nix and Drake May both got exponentially better this offseason.
And he had a brand new offense, brand new everything.
See, it always comes back to, well, yeah, but he's dealing with this. Hold up a minute. In one breath, we can't talk about how great Ben Johnson is, which I think he's I think he's going to be a great head coach. He's done miraculous things, right? You can't in one breath say, well, yeah, Caleb's struggling because this is a new offense. But then the very next breath, talk about how that new offense is supposed to be the answer, the magic, the glimmer, the hope. And you've got arguably the best play caller in the league. I say that somewhat sarcastically. I think Matt LaFleur is still better than Ben Johnson. That's just me personally. But you see what I'm saying, how it comes back to, hold up a minute. Either this offense is the answer and Ben Johnson's the answer and Caleb isn't, or maybe this offense isn't as good as we think it is. Ben Johnson isn't as good as we think he is, and Caleb is better. You can't have both. You see what I'm saying, how the conversation always gets skewed there?
Happening. But on that note, Ben Johnson's offense, we all just assume is like electrifyingly good.
And a couple other guys did too. Yeah.
No offense.
As a Packers fan too, like they are much better, but like the Packers are still very young. Like the Packers aren't going anywhere either. And like the Lions.
Amen. Isn't it funny how they always talk about the upside of the other teams and they don't mention that the Packers are the young? You guys hear it from me all the time about the Packers being the youngest team because I think it's a negative, right? But again, the positive of that is if you do get these guys going in the right direction, and you get the penalties taken care of, you get the mental mistakes taken care of, and they start to excel, now the sky's the limit. And that's, you can tell that's what Goody's vision was, and it seems to be heading in the right direction.
And like, I guess we'll see what happens. But like we're talking about the Lions being shite, and they're 8-5 right now.
And you know who else we're talking about?
9. Who
coming off
threw for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions against maybe the worst team in the NFL on Sunday.
He wasn't asked to do anything else. Okay, he threw 3 touchdowns. He had 123.9 super duper.
Yeah, quarterback rating, pass rating.
The rating.
Yeah. So obviously some inside joking going on there. So again, man, when you kind of look at this whole Packers-Bears rivalries and where we're at right now, and obviously the segment was about AQ Shipley talking about the Packers and how they perform there against Chicago. It's going to be a fun rivalry to see it unfold over the next few years. I hope they keep Caleb. That's me personally. I kind of worry about the day that they don't have Caleb Williams as their quarterback because everything else seems to be firing on all cylinders on that offense. They got some solid pieces in place, I believe, personally. And just to kind of give you guys the confirmation we were talking about here, it's probably hard for you to see the numbers, but this is the type of stuff that Bears fans are doing. Shout out to Captain Caleb. He's been blocking a lot of Packers fans. He talks a lot of trash, and then when they point out the facts, he tends to block them. But here we go. He put out a graphic, said year 6, trending down, Jordan Love, 3,191 passing yards, 22 touchdowns. Year 2, trending up, Caleb Williams, 3,251 yards and 23 touchdowns. Think about everybody who's talked about these two teams and these two quarterbacks. Former NFL players talking about Jordan Love playing elite. He's now, if this is true, right, then why isn't Caleb Williams in the MVP conversation? What's going on, guys? What's going on? Well, the Bears suck. No, they don't. They were the number 1 seed last week before we kicked their ass. So why isn't he being mentioned as an MVP candidate? Why is that? That's because these numbers are skewed. As I pointed out in my tweet, I said, my man trying to sneak in the rushing touchdowns and no mention of 52 other quarterbacks being more accurate. Again, there's the numbers. Caleb is 53rd in the National Football League with an adjusted completion percentage of 69.7. The reason I always go to adjusted completion percentage is because Bears fans will point out that they stopped doing it now because we have completely debunked it. First quarter of the season, well, that's because his completion percentage is bad because the receivers keep dropping balls. No, buddy. This is 2025, my man. We have analytics that show us they remove the noise, the spots, the throwaways, the drop passes. We can get right down to the nitty gritty, baby. He's 69.7 adjusted completion percentage, which is 53rd best in the league. Didn't mention that. And also the 23 touchdowns, the Jordan Love's 22 touchdowns, that makes you think passing touchdowns, doesn't it? Now, that includes 3 rushing touchdowns as well. Now, again, is Caleb playing horrible football? No, he's protecting the football, right? And he had 2 one-yard touchdown passes against the Packers, right? You look at his lack of throwing the ball down the field, or at least accurately throwing that ball down the field. I challenge everyone, go watch the first half of that Packers-Bears game and watch him sell pass after pass after pass over his receivers' heads. Why is that? Because he's antsy in the pocket. He doesn't know that he's going to the 2 read before he finishes his drop. He's looking, read 1, now let me scramble. And he makes some flashy plays when he does that. But I'm telling you, Ben Johnson, if his accuracy doesn't improve, if his decision-making doesn't just necessarily mean throwing touchdowns and not throwing interceptions. It means getting to the correct answer to the question on each and every single play. Jordan, we were talking about reading the blitz, getting to the right answer there, right? We talk about that. You don't see that with Caleb. With Caleb, it's one read panic, right? Think of the 3rd down. It was a 3rd and 8 they converted inside the 20, right, where they converted on the Packers last week to Luther Burden. What was the play call? 3rd and 8, what did Ben Johnson call? A smoke screen. Because he doesn't trust Caleb to pick a side, read high-low, or go through a true progression of the 1, the 2 to the 3. He doesn't see it like that. It's Damn it. They're keyed in on the run right here. If we got the hat count, let's just throw a smoke screen. It's not even an RPO attached. With Jordan, you'll see a smoke screen, a bubble screen, all these things, an RPO flat. But it's the RPO attached and let Jordan make the decision reading the defense, just like the quick looky slant to our boy Christian Watson for 41 yards. You don't see Caleb making those plays. So, again, I'm not saying Caleb can't be a great quarterback in due time. It is still early. But anyone who's convinced themselves that Caleb is, oh, my gosh, he is the man and he is better than Jordan Love, you are living in fairy tale land. There's no doubt about it. So, anyway, that's going to do it for you. For those of you who are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments what you think about what Pat McAfee and AQ Shipley, Ty Schmidt, all the guys at the McAfee Show said about Green Bay Packers offensive line, how they're running the football, and how they match up against Chicago. Also, let us know what you think about their comments about Caleb Williams, specifically AQ Shipley's, and what Ty said about the Packers being the youngest team in the league. So let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know every time we do go live here in the future. I'm out, guys. We got some Christmas festivities going on. That's why I wanted to put some early content together for y'all. I know there's not much football on today in terms of college football, so I figured you guys want a little extra content. So we got 3 videos out there, one from earlier today. Apologize for the hiccup in the connection. And then obviously 2 segments here for y'all to kind of dive into. Let us know in the comments, how do you feel about Packers, Broncos? We will see you guys tomorrow for the PTA pregame show, 1.5 hours before kickoff. We'll give you all the inactives, all the latest information, live shots from what I still call Mile High Stadium. I think it's called something else now, but we'll give you all the live information there as we lead you right to kickoff. And then as soon as the game's over, win, lose, or draw, we'll be in here breaking the game down in the PTA postgame show. So make sure you guys hit like, spin those laces. I've been told it's a soccer ball again. Kick the damn soccer ball. Just hit the like button for us. We greatly appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful day. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack Go.
Here we go. We're out. Bye, guys.